Hello, theme park fans, and welcome to episode 92 of the E-Ticket Report. My name is Chris Wakefield, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Ryan Barr.
Howdy.
Jalen Harvey.
Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself. Yeah.
Here we go. And, of course, Tommy Hawkins.
Bonsoir.
All right, so we're less than 24 hours removed from the 2024 D23 Parks Panel, or what was it called this year? It wasn't Parks Panel this year. What's it called?
Park
Experiences Showcase.
Horizons. It's actually right here below us. Horizons. D23 Disney Experiences Showcase.
And a lot happened. A lot was announced. And we'll get to that in a second. But I want to start with... Let's start with where they ended. With the kind of encore, the kind of Steve Jobs, and one more thing they tried to do, which was the announcement that a Villain's Land is coming to Magic Kingdom. Give me your first thoughts on that.
Meh.
About fucking time?
Perfect. All right. What do you say, Jay?
About fucking time. Like, and not just with that, overall, with this entire presentation, just my entire feelings towards it. But, like, no, it's just, you've been saying that we want to do a Villain's Land forever. Hell, they were about to do it with DCA. They were going to have that instead of Pixar here. So, it's just, it's time. Like, just fucking pull the trigger. Let's go.
And for those of you who don't know who are new to this community, this rumor was around when I first started going to Disney theme parks back in 2008, 2009-ish. This was a Villain's Land is on the way. It's coming, and we're, 16 years later. And finally now we have an announcement. Ryan, is this really going to happen?
I think so, yeah. I think he's pretty serious this time. Good old Josh. Apparently he said they're already moving dirt behind Big Thunder, and I think we'll see the Cars expansion before the Villain's Land. Maybe that'll be like a phased thing. But
we'll get to Cars in a second. I wanna just chew on Villain's Land a little bit longer, because again, it's been so long in the making. What would you expect to see in Villain's Land? Because I've always thought that this idea seemed a little bit immature, seemed a little bit short-sighted. It doesn't appeal to kids, really, your main demographic. It's kind of really leaning into your Disney adult, Disney nerd fan base. So what do you expect in a Villain's Land, reasonably?
From what it... Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
I really don't, it's like asking, what do you expect from a Universal Monsters Land? I don't care, man. Just give me good vibes, I guess. You know?
Do we think this is being built, and I've seen a lot of this on Twitter, is this being built to counter-program against Universal's Monsters Land in Epic Universe?
I can definitively say no. I talked with somebody... They were from Imagineering, and I asked them this while on Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I was riding with a group of Imagineers who worked on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and I asked them straight up, is it a response to, because it was just a thought I had just while being there, and they told me no, that this was just something that they were just, kind of like the Monsters Inc. coaster, sitting on for years, and just, it's almost like old reliable. It's like, we have that idea in stock. Like, we can pull that out anytime. And since, like, the Disney villains are so iconic and everything like that, particularly the 90s ones, yeah, no, it just seems like a ration sort of thing. Like, hey, we need something to be open really quick. Let's do this.
I'm not very good with recent Disney films, so can we go through real quick the recent Disney villains, because it seems like, again, a lot of them get redemption arcs and don't end the film as villains.
I couldn't tell you any Disney villains.
None?
I'm not even joking.
One?
I mean,
yeah, we know Scar, Cloud Frollo, We know, Maleficent. Those are the easy ones. But the last 10 years,
Chapek.
who's the villain for Frozen?
Chapek, isn't it?
No,
Bob Chapek.
it's the guy who's like
There's
handsome.
Duke Weselton and Hans, who doesn't become redeemed. You always talking about how like villains get redeemed. King Candy wasn't redeemed in Wreck-It Ralph. The dude from the Institute in Big Hero 6 wasn't redeemed.
Oh no!
Like
He
you
killed
always say
somebody.
that
I've never.
the sheep
I've,
from Zootopia wasn't redeemed. You always get that like, oh,
So
they get redeemed at the end, motherfucker. Like no,
I mentioned that the
like,
most when it comes to Marvel. I've never seen Big Hero 6. I've never seen Frozen 2. I've never seen Zootopia. So this is why I'm so unfamiliar with the last 10 or so years of Disney animation features and who the villains may or may not be. I know in Encanto it was it the grandma, I guess, or Bruno, or...
there's no villain in Encanto. Shut up. Sorry,
Okay.
that was the booze talking. No.
Here we go.
Oh, that's the other thing. I
No,
can't really edit out things.
I'll be sure to keep the N word down to a minimum. But nah, Chris, I don't think they care about like the older, like the newer villains, because I will agree the newer villains aren't really that all in your face with it. Besides maybe like Mother Gothel from Tangled. I think that's the last big like sort of like, for lack of a better way of putting it, like
A classic.
campy villain, like very campy, all up in your face villain. But like the
Right.
villains,
Because even like in Moana, the lava monster becomes nice at the end, right?
Tafiti, yeah, her heart was corrupted. I wouldn't even say so much redeemed. The heifer was corrupted.
I mean,
Like,
I think
I guess if you want to say something was wrong, it was like Maui stole the shit that kept it together, and then she fell apart and became evil. So
the
My,
villain.
my
Yes.
issue with
and
people
there's Big Shiny
saying
Crab
that...
too.
Oh, that's a good one. My issue with people saying that this will be a comparing this to Epic Universe Monsters Land is that land is genuinely made to be, from what we've seen so far, terrifying and scary and as frightening as possible. Disney won't go anywhere near that with their villains, so it's in no way an answer to their land.
I don't think it's going to be that terrifying, to be honest with you. It's not going to be like Mickey's Not So Scary, but it's not going to be Halloween Horror Nights.
Right, it's not gonna
Right.
be gore, but that coaster looks pretty intense. I'll say that the coaster looks cool.
If
I
you
think
guys look at the concept art,
the
the
what they're
tracks go up under the ground
yeah
that
it
you
looks
walk on.
looks pretty creepy, but like the villains as a brand to me are right up there with the princesses as a brand. Like
Yeah, so for me, I just don't understand because, like, I'm not saying this in a bad way, but Jay, you've just reeled off a bunch of random villains, right? I just don't see how they all tie together, how that one becomes one coherent land, especially when it's going to be like one big ride and probably one small ride. I just don't see how they all tie together.
well, how did all the Fantasyland like good people tie together?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Well, I don't think they do. To me,
Well,
it's
more
just
to
like
the
a
point-
random.
Yeah,
We've
it is.
seen the villains before in video games, in Phantasmic, all working together for one purpose. In the
Yeah.
nighttime shows, in the old Boo to You fireworks show, they all work together for one purpose. So we haven't seen that with the
Yeah.
princesses and quote-unquote heroes, but we see it a lot with the villains.
So the land's
I
going to
mean,
be like
it's
pretty
fantastic.
generic and like meh. Then is it? Like I don't.
It's
I
Disney.
just,
It's the
Well-
Magic Kingdom. The whole park is generic. That's the point of Magic Kingdom.
There's
I think
no
you
real
could say the same
connection
thing
between.
about monsters.
Yeah, the monsters are
Because
like
monsters is just
in
all
different
of them
continents.
coming together to fight. Yeah, they're all in different areas. They're just all under one roof because some white lady got them together to go be like to experiment on them, and they're all here in the same area. They don't canonically. They're not all together. So
no one knows. No one knows the canon of all that though. Like people just like associate them type of monsters together, like Frankenstein, Dracula, and all that. Like they all get
Just like
associated
people do with
together.
Disney villains. Niggas don't
Yeah, I
care.
don't- yeah,
Oh,
I-
I slipped up and said the N word. Damn it.
I don't think
Ryan,
it's
I
talking over you.
apologize.
It's okay.
I just don't know. Like what I'm saying is, it's very easy to build a ride with Dracula and Frankenstein and all that. I don't see how they're going to build a ride with the what's his face Scar from Lion King and all them other ones and
Okay, that's true.
the Candy King and all that. I just don't know how that's going to work. I just
Oh,
can't see
Yeah,
it
I would go
working.
back and look at Phantasmic, look at the old
Yeah.
nighttime Halloween fireworks show, where
Because it's easy to like
that
do a montage and do like a, like a villain diarrhea like on the castle. I just don't see how that
that's what this will be.
translates.
That's what this will be.
I could see it being something along the lines of just being like where Fantasyland is where all of the good guys get to hang out and congregate with each other. The same thing happens over here with the villains. I can also see something along the lines of because there's almost a little bit of a core group of villains. You normally get Jafar, you normally get Captain Hook, you normally get Hades, you normally get Cruella de Vil, you get Maleficent and the Evil
Gaston.
Queen,
Yeah, but in
and
Fantasyland, what have you got? You've got like seven dwarfs as a ride.
it
You've
doesn't fit.
got
It doesn't matter.
Peter
It doesn't
Pan
matter.
as a ride. You've got individualized parts of the same umbrella of like that family of like thing. I just don't. What I'm saying is, the land ain't going to be that big. It's going to have one, maybe two rides. So I just don't. You don't have that room to break out the villains into their own little areas and have their own little rides. Do you get
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think it's going to be like how Epic has the big ride that has sort of all of them coming together and then having the Wolfman ride on the side. I think it's
No,
going to
but
be
haven't they
something more
said it's
along.
going to be two rides? Oh, I thought that's what they said last night for
Yeah, it's going to
villains.
be two rides, and it's going. I'm thinking it's going to be a coaster from what we've already seen, and that castle. That castle, if like there's any Epic Mickey fans listening, you've seen a castle that looks very similar to that, and that's just that castle that they have going for them with like all the way up at the top. I think that's supposedly where the ride might take place as a Maleficent sort of castle.
it's
But you also
Here's a
see like a mansion off to the side that looks like not a haunted mansion, but like a villain sort of
Yeah, and
mansion.
that's where it's Disney. They're gonna do one e-ticket that breaks down a lot, and you need a virtual queue. They'll do a flat ride, and they'll do a
That's
different,
fair.
highly themed facade with meet and greets inside. It's Disney. Like that. That's not overthink this, guys.
Probably no, 100%. I can see a
Yeah,
villain's fairy tale
yeah,
hall, just like a princess fairy tale hall.
yeah.
Yeah,
With
no,
some kind
I
of show
agree.
like the Belle, the Beauty and the Beast meet and greet thing. But and I said on Twitter, I don't think this will actually get made. I can't explain why. I just from the way they talked about it, from what they showed, from I've been following this company for a very long time, and I can pick up on small things. I just get the feeling this land will not happen. It'll get watered down. It'll be one small ride, maybe some meet and greets somewhere in Fantasyland. I just get the
it's just gonna
feeling
get the it's gonna get
we
the
already
Disney.
know Gaston's Tavern was pulled out of old Plants for Villains Land and put in New Fantasyland. That was part of Villains Land years and years ago. Gaston's Tavern was. It was much more involved. It involved all. It was called. It was going to have a villains happy hour where all the villains would come barging in and tell you stories. And even Gaston's Tavern, it was said, well, Gaston's gonna come in and tell you stories, and now there's no characters in there whatsoever. It's quick service dining, it's watered down, and I see that exact same thing happening with
and
Villains
no
Land and
pork
Magic
shank.
Kingdom, if it even happens.
And
I
no
think
pork shank.
Don't
in
get me started. Don't get me started.
I think in everyone's mind, it's an epic universe land. Like, forget the fact. Not talking about monsters. Not talking about any particular one. In their mind, it's going to be a whole self-contained land. When in reality, it's going to have the same fanfare as that kind of an expectation as an epic universe land. But in reality, it's going to be exactly like Disneyland Paris, where they're going to spend 5 or 6 years to build something that's probably going to be the equivalent to a Frozen Maelstrom clone ride.
Yeah.
All
Because
right.
that's all they're doing.
All
They're
right, we
doing
gotta
a
move on.
small restaurant
We got a
and
lot
one
to
ride.
go through. Let's move on. Ryan, you mentioned Cars Land. We got the announcement of Cars Land that will go in Frontierland with a new type of cars, two cars rides. So, where in Frontierland do we think this is going? First of all,
Well, I think most definitely behind Big Thunder. This is he immediately followed up the Big Thunder reveal with this. So the theming is obviously more northwest than the classic Frontierland we've known. So they have a rally car experience through the wilderness. which looks like Radiator Springs Racers, but more like
Just different skin.
woods and
It's
waterfalls.
Radiator Springs Racers without, and what
Having
makes
to build
Radiator Springs Racers is that amazing backdrop and the Cadillac mountain range. This is Radiator Springs Racers without having to build that elaborate, immersive environment. We'll put up some dirt and some cactuses and some hills, and we'll call it the West.
I think
It
the
seems
like a cheaper
art looks
version
a
of
lot
that.
more elaborate than that to me. It looks like
I agree.
sizable. You can see Big Thunder in the background.
Well, yeah, okay,
and
you're
there's a
right. 'Cause we
mountain
all
that's-
know that Disney builds exactly what the concept art looks like. They never water it down. They never scale it back. You're right.
I know, but still, they say these things are in development, and he did say that
Everything's in development.
Earth is moving behind Big Thunder already. So we have permits that are already been filed.
Yeah, those gift shops will be up in no time. I love that. Earth is they're in development. Nothing's blue sky. You know what was in development? The Main Street Theater was in development. You know what was in development? Play Pavilion was deep in development. Mary Poppins was in development.
And then
Didn't
the
they
pandemic.
tell us that maybe I'm thinking of something else, but didn't they say like 2027? Was it 2027 or 2020?
Yeah, did we get a date for that?
They did. There was a bunch of them
Sorry.
that just started.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh, it's
that's
okay.
the Lightning McQueen going by.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
sorry.
talking shit.
We have some new
Ah.
guy on the block who's got a motorcycle, and that's what's letting us all know he has a motorcycle. So we have to put up with this a couple times a day. Anyways, sorry. Yeah. So in development is a very fungible, very movable term.
But the fact is that's complete bullshit because if they were actually moving dirt like they said, we would already know about it. So
There would be signs. There
What do
would
you
be
mean?
signs.
There is. There was permits.
there wasn't not for that.
Yes, for north of Big Thunder. Yes, for that land, vacant land northwest of Magic Kingdom.
And I don't doubt that Cars Land will happen. I think that will happen because it's a proven commodity. Unlike Villains Land, which is not proven in terms of if a land or ride would work. They have a Cars Land already. It sells a ton of merchandise. The Disney geeks may not love it, but the kids do. So I sit there and watch kids walk out of Cars Land with bags and bags of merchandise, eating a ton of food from Flo's V8. So that's a proven thing. I think that will happen.
There's nothing wrong with, like, for me, that one's probably, of all the stuff they've announced, it's the only one that I'm like, okay, right, I'd look forward to that. Because all the other stuff,
I'm just glad it's not a actual Radiator Springs Racers clone.
Yeah.
Like, they were just
It's
saying
not.
that we were going to get Radiator Springs Racers and not the full Cars Land. I'm fine if it's just an attraction, but
Well, isn't that what Braden said, that it was a clone?
It was Radiator
Braden
Springs
says a lot of
Racers, yeah.
things.
Yeah, but
I
he's
know
doing
one
this
of the issues
Victory
with
Parade
Radiator
now.
Springs is that they had to build that massive show building. So the question is, with this new ride, will they invest and build a big show building
No.
like Radiator Springs? Or will they go, you know what,
No.
most of it's outside, keep it outside. Cheaper.
No. They won't, because Radiator Springs Racers already breaking down over at DCA. It looks rough as fuck. Like, it's not, they're not
Yeah.
going to build. I don't think they're going to build that. Like, I think we're getting a much more efficient version of Radiator Springs Racers, and that probably means without all of the bells and whistles.
Yeah, I
Wait,
think this would be more about
you know,
the
Test Track,
experience
whenever
of the
Test-
thrills and the movements of the vehicle than like scenes or show scenes or animatronics. Those animatronics do struggle.
You know, Test Track goes down in rain. Is it an actual?
Oh my god.
Yeah, this thing will
Great
never
point.
operate, just like Test Track.
So my first thoughts to that is
Oh my
maybe
God.
maybe instead of having that ride system, they could have got that. You know, is it Dynamic Attractions, the other one? Premier or Dynamic? And I think it's Dynamic Attractions had that one that it was basically a roller coaster and then a fourth floor below. So whether that would make it a bit more reliable rather than the weird Test Track thing that fucks up all the time.
Possibly. Or it could be a new version of Test Track that they've...
Because then if you add that kind of roller coaster force track thing, then you can have hills and bumps and stuff like that and actually make it a bit more realistic.
Yeah. I mean that I could see working a
Let's,
lot better than a slot car.
Let's stay in Magic Kingdom and talk about the announced pirate bar that'll fit about 20 people,
Sure.
Well,
like every other new bar they build.
Yeah. No. Is this gonna go where Tortuga Tavern is?
Yes.
Okay.
Me
That's what it
and,
seems like, yeah.
Me and one of my homegirls, we went over there and we were checking it out.
Because they were also
like it.
prepping the space where, what's it called? The Pirates League used to be, where they would do the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, but for pirates, kids, boys.
Yeah.
That is in
They're
the
gonna-
gift shop.
But Tortuga's already got the infrastructure. It's got a kitchen
Yeah.
already. It's got stuff
Yep.
there, so
Yeah, that's
Yep.
true.
yeah. My issue with these is that they're tough to get into. They build them for 20, 25 people, and when you do get in there, it's all pre-mixed drinks, and they rush you out of there real fast. They get, you got 20 minutes, half an hour to be in there, and they rush you out the door
Right. That's
for
the
a
Yoga Cantina's
$25
experience.
pre-mixed drink.
And the Trader
Yeah.
Sam's experience. But, I don't know, it looks like, people are sitting down. That's new for a place like this. Everybody's usually standing.
But it's
Do
going to
people
be
sit at
very
Oga's?
small.
No, there's
well,
no
they're
seats.
kinda, sorta. There's like, I want to say maybe 6 booths, 3 on one side, 3 on another, and then you just stand.
Wow.
Right, the only chairs are attached to the wall.
Okay. But
So it's-
this, again, we think it will happen. It's likely to happen. It's easier for them to build. There's a building already there. Just retheme it and then add 20% to the prices, and there you go.
I'm just surprised we're getting a bar in Magic Kingdom, period. I know that they've been serving more drinks, but I guess since Disneyland has Oga's Cantina, fuck it. Let's just.
I thought there was a
Rip the
bar
Band-Aid
there
off.
already. Wasn't there like a Skipper Canteen or something? Or
Skipper Canteen's a restaurant, and you can buy booze from. They were the first ones
But
next
they
to
don't-
be, I guess.
Oh, do they have
But
a
it's not a
sit-down
full bar.
okay,
It's not a full. No, it's not
Okay.
a full bar.
Right.
okay. Do we miss anything for Magic Kingdom?
Hold on, let me look.
The nighttime parade. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
about
Yes.
it.
What's it called again?
Starlight.
Starbright. So during the, can we talk about first this annoying format of we're going to announce something and then do 6 to 10 minutes of singing?
Oh my god.
For the D23
every
panel.
There was a lot of music.
I was pissed.
Why? Who asked for this?
Also,
It
like
was like a-
45 minutes before they even announced anything, it was just all music before that.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Just songs.
All fucking music and and bits. Just fuck. I
It's
don't
annoying,
Need to see
like-
Darren Chris out here. Put that twink back up in his fucking box.
Okay.
And get
That
him
is,
the
that
hell
is
out
just
of here.
such a it's such a
bunch
corporate
of churros
middle
back
management
here.
way to think. Yeah, it's a middle management way to think of. You know what they'll love is the same song they've heard 15,000 times before. No,
But I
everyone
will
is there
say-
for the announcement.
I don't know.
It
I
is
was there
Disney,
for
so
Deadpool
songs are
singing
included.
Veggie Veggie Fruit Fruit.
I was there for Deadpool singing Veg Better Fruit. And they did get
Yeah,
me with
Deadpool was
Nico
great.
on.
I mean, that's something that you would want, but just like Megan Trainor singing whatever, no, I just what's opening? What's the date?
Back to the
Anyway,
parade.
sorry, I digress. All right, let's move. Oh, yes, the parade. Yes.
So they said what? Peter Pan, Frozen.
Peter Pan, Frozen, Encanto next year, I believe.
The same 6 things they've been doing. Yeah.
I want to say they
Well,
said
Encanto-
Incredibles. They said Incredibles too, I think.
Oh,
which,
and Incredibles, yeah.
which probably they're bringing the Paint the
Yeah.
Night float over here.
That'd be
I don't
that'd be
really
good.
care. I don't really do parades.
I'm happy Magic Kingdom has a nighttime parade. It's like it kind of feels weird when that park does it. I mean, it hasn't had one in what 5-6 years, more. But I don't know. It'll feel like returning to normal a little bit when there's a parade there every night.
So this is coming next year, is it? Because that's their answer to their competitor building a whole brand new park. That's what you'll get in 2025.
Oh no,
yeah.
there was like a bunch of things that they rattled off that they were doing, but just not to the scale of.
You're also
Not
getting
to the.
It's going to be a new bar and a new
you're getting a
parade.
Spaceship
and that's
Earth
it.
bar.
we're getting the Spaceship Earth bar. We're getting Test Track reopened. There was one other thing like somewhere else. They did like a speed run.
Yeah, let's move
Zootopia-
park by park. Let's
Zootopia,
pace
Animal
ourselves
Kingdom,
here and
Bugs
move
Life.
park by park.
Okay. Where you want to go next? In chronological order.
Right,
Let's go to
let's-
Epcot
So that was Magic
and talk
Kingdom.
about. Yes, let's talk about Epcot. They did not announce anything more about that Spaceship Earth refurb they promised. That's in development, but not in development anymore, apparently. But we did get a Spaceship Earth bar, which is going in the old lounge, I guess.
Yeah, where the Siemens Lounge was and the AT&T Lounge. So this is, the first time they've really repurposed the.
Have you been in there,
original
Ryan?
Epcot VIP Lounge. I have not. No, you've had to have been a Siemens employee or AT&T employee.
So you've never been immersed in Siemens.
Absolutely.
never been immersed in
not at Epcot.
Not at Epcot. Wow.
Look,
That's how they
yeah.
get down to
Did
Boston.
we
They
glean
know.
anything from the artwork for this bar? Does it look special or stick out for any reason?
The panoramic glass that's on the back of Spaceship Earth that looks out across the whole park, that's going to be a pretty special view, and not one that many have actually gotten the chance to see
No.
before. So that's it. Just the view. Kind of looks like Space 220.
Well, I mean, I'm not mad at it just about the fact of one, it doesn't hurt anything, and two, it was a space that was previously that you weren't able to access, and they're giving it back to the people. So fuck it. I'm gonna be there regardless. I'm not gonna bitch about it. My black
Right.
ass is gonna be right there at that lounge
I'm
chilling.
gonna love it. I'm gonna sit. Yeah, I'm gonna love that. I will spend
Like,
my
I
whole
like
day
that-
there.
My one complaint about like World Celebration was like there needs to be booze here because you got all these places where you can sit and chill out at. I need a cart. I need something over here. I need like one of those like Disney Springs open bar carts. Like I need one of those here, and then I'm relaxing.
Mm,
So they answered my qualms. I'm cool with it.
I
I'm
like
mad
it.
at it.
All right. Let's move on to what they announced for Journey into Imagination.
Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean,
That's the
I'm sorry,
tumbleweed
They did
going
give us
past.
an update on the Play Pavilion, though, right? You have an update on that?
we're getting the.
Hey, Epcot just
Oh, no.
finished.
Oh, they're gonna,
Okay.
they're gonna.
All right. No.
They're gonna
no,
fill well-
I can do this. I can do this. All right.
Brazil
the Odyssey,
Pavilion.
That's gonna reopen.
Epcot just
Right?
finished a
The Odyssey?
years-long overhaul that took
Ryan,
years,
come on.
Chris, and costed a lot of money. So Epcot
Come
is
on,
fine.
Oh, there
no,
was a
you know
lot-
what? At least give them credit. At least they announced Brazil for World Showcase, right? Oh wait, no.
No, but we did
Argentina?
get the same concept art for Test Track that we have seen multiple times already, and they had nothing new to show us.
Fantastic.
All right. Let's move on to the Animal Kingdom.
So no chronological order.
We've got
We're just
No,
gonna
no,
skip
it's not.
MGM.
Some
We've
park
got.
fan he is.
We're just working on vibes here, Jay. We're working on vibes. All right, corporate's
It's all
off today,
vibes.
so we're just gonna work on
It's
vibes.
all
and coast.
vibes.
So let's go to Animal Kingdom. We knew, and this is the kind of the theme with this. So up until now, was anything announced a major surprise for you last night?
The one that we haven't talked about yet, and the Villains Land.
So Villains Land was a surprise for you.
So
even
the
though it's been
stuff
talked about
that
for the
they,
last
the
16
stuff
years.
that they already announced and then announced again yesterday.
They never announced what was
that
going
was
behind.
that was the surprise for Ryan.
Big Thunder.
They never announced like. I mean, they didn't. Hell, they put Coco over.
No,
in
they
Disneyland,
teased-
for Christ's sake.
They dropped
They teased
artwork.
Villains
They
Land.
literally dropped the
They
Encanto
teased-
I'm talking
artwork.
about the car side. I'm talking about the car
Yeah.
side of things.
Yeah, they didn't
No,
say
I'm
anything about Cars
saying-
or Villains
Right.
Land before this
They did
event.
talk
No,
about Villains Land. They did
I'm
talk
saying
about
from
that.
Animal Kingdom,
They-
which is
they
the
teased
park that
Villains
we're
Land
still
at the last
talking about.
D23.
How?
Oh,
Where?
The park,
I didn't see that.
the park that we're talking about, Animal Kingdom, they've already released this information, so they've just repeated themselves last night.
Well, we did
Right.
not
So
know
let's
about
go.
the
Let's
carousel.
start with. Let's start. Yes, that's fine. The carousel, which is something that the only person you guys are gonna hate this. The only person I saw who had this was Braden.
The
Yeah, who
carousel? What are you
fucking
talking
cares?
about?
He had a lot of
Yeah, but-
details that.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
carousel,
the
like
carousel.
the carousel, like the whole flat ride, the circular flat ride thing has been pretty much common knowledge for a while that they were
Right.
going to do
Yeah, but
something
the
north,
backstory,
and
the
then who gives a
characters.
fuck about that? Come on, who cares about that?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll give credit where he gives due. It's like you brought home one rib to dinner.
A
You're like,
clock,
look
a
at this
broken
rib that
clock
I
can
brought
be
for
right
everybody to
twice a
eat.
day.
One singular rib. Look at this. This is something that we can eat off for days, right, guys?
Don't forget,
do
like-
you think
like-
that announced for tropical Americas between Indiana Jones and Encanto, will that go any more outside the borders of what Dinoland is now, or is that going to perfectly fit inside Dinoland?
Looking at the model, did we see the picture of the model earlier? I'm pretty sure.
Well, I'm about to show it on the screen so you guys can see it when this podcast gets uploaded.
Like when I did my, I did like the mock-up where I placed what we thought would be the flume ride or whatever. It pretty much just stayed within the area of the fire road to the left of Dinosaur.
So let's talk about Dinosaur closing. They officially announced that, and they announced that some kind of new Indiana Jones experience featuring snakes will go in there. What are our thoughts on that?
Has
I think
everybody
it's-
done Indiana Jones here?
No,
Not
Okay.
Tommy.
but I think it's good that it's not the same for you guys. Like it doesn't really matter to me. I have to lose my mind to want to go to the West Coast, but anyway, I think it's good that they've given something else rather than the same.
As somebody who's done both,
And then for
Indiana Joneses, the best way I can put it to you is like in a Pokemon metaphor. It's like like Pokemon Red and Blue. There's only minor differences between them. It's the same exact ride with only a slight minor difference in terms of what element it is. It's, to be real with you, I think it's really lazy on part of what Imagineering can do. They're just like, let's just do Indiana Jones, this character whose movie just fucking flopped and who was just like a legacy brand character. And great, cool, but like y'all couldn't have done it like an up attraction or another tropic. Like y'all couldn't have come up with something else besides just pulling out Indy to do fucking, I don't know, Animal Kingdom version. Like it's all of the same ride with only a minor difference to them. Minor differences too.
We're all going to agree with you, but I feel like we've already had this conversation already. So it's just the fact.
Yeah, and that's that part's really subjective as opposed to what IP you choose and what you don't choose. We have Indy. We know we have Indy. I'm sure there is some kind of research or numbers or revenue stream they know of which led them to picking Indy. It must sell a lot of merch or something, or they want to keep Lucas or Spielberg happy. I don't know, but I don't think it's as flippant as. I think there's some data behind this that they
Maybe they've got some numbers. Like forget the fourth and the fifth. How many movies we're on now?
5.
I think
So forget 4 and 5. Maybe they've got some
5.
solid numbers on 1, 2, 3 on Disney Plus or something like that. Maybe they still get. They're still like
Possibly.
considered legacy IP, and
yeah,
it still gets.
they are, and Dinosaur is totally not. And I think overall, probably they're seeing demand for that ride go down on a graph in like a downwards trend. I just don't think.
And then seeing
a draw,
the cost go up before they need to completely overhaul
It's
it anyway.
capacity, but it's not a draw. It needs something to liven it up. So, oh well. The only thing is, like, I'm with Jalen. They're not really putting much into this. If you look at the model, it's literally just a reskin.
It's the same.
And we'll see.
Well, yeah,
what they do.
and also don't forget that we just had a conversation about Magic Kingdom, which is it looks like 2 or 3, like a net gain of 2 or 3 additional rides to that park. But in reality, with this park, what?
It's 4 net gain. With villain, I mean, if they do build villains. Villains comes with 2 and Cars comes with 2, so we'll get 4.
I'm sorry, but if Cars is an e-ticket and Villains is an e-ticket, and one of them is like a flat ride and a C
counts.
ticket, it's not.
Fuck
It's
it.
still not that much. Come on. It's not- it's not what-
Also for Animal Kingdom, they announced Encanto, and it sounds like a meet and greet. Or
No, it's
sorry,
a-
this is the
no,
ride.
No, it is
It's
a
the
ride.
ride. You're right. Yeah,
Dark
where
ride.
you go
the
to
ride.
Disney
I'll
right?
give Braden his dues. It's probably going to be an Omni mover.
Again.
I would agree with him on that. I think it's probably going to be an Omni mover.
Oh, we're back
To the
that.
tune of what'd you say, Ryan?
Why Omnimover?
Trackless.
Yeah, why Omnimover, not trackless? They've had success with their trackless rides.
Because they eat people, and Encanto is going to get a massive fucking long line of people, and Omni movers don't necessarily have the same downtime as Mickey and Minnie's and Rise. I think it's a no-brainer. Get something that's worked in the parks for whatever number of years.
Yeah,
because it works and it eats people.
I agree. I just don't think they're doing Omnimovers anymore.
I don't believe that. After seeing Pooh's Honey Hunt and seeing that run like clockwork and not stopping, same thing with like
Beauty and the Beast.
Aquatopia.
Was this when you was in Japan, Jalen? Was this when you was in Japan?
Yes, we know OLC can maintain their rides. We cannot.
You know what? I did not factor in that the maintenance. They probably put more care and love into them. So yeah, no, I think like Aquatopia went down for like 10 minutes and that bitch was back up and like they got out there and they fixed whatever the fuck needed to be fixed. So.
Yeah.
Is there any issue with them selecting Encanto to go into this park with Animal Kingdom?
Come on. Chris,
Any controversy? Any?
Chris,
Does
don't
anyone
do
give
that.
a fuck?
Any content?
Just be
Oh,
grateful
yes,
they're
it has
building
nothing
rides.
to do with animals, and they're not adding any animals or animal enclosures.
There's gonna be snakes.
I don't.
Can you imagine it? I wouldn't go on it if it was that. If they put real fucking snakes in the Indiana Jones one, I'd be like, no, fuck this, I'm out. You go have fun, guys. I'm going to that Nomad Lounge and having a drink.
Yeah.
The thing with Encanto, and I guess you're queuing me up to be fucking Fred Hampton here, but like it, like it just kind of seems like Animal Kingdom is where non-Eurocentric countries go, and cultures to be shown off really do go. So I think a lot of people have problems with Encanto going there because Encanto is a very human story. Shit, it's about generational trauma. Like it doesn't have anything to do with animals. And the ride, and it's not like Disney's kind of hiding it.
I've always felt with Animal Kingdom, they're just trying to build lands where animals are more likely to live. So whatever it is, tropicals.
No. Did you not see that there was no animals, like no new animal exhibits announced at all with that? Like there was no, and with Encanto, like they're talking about, oh, we're going to go around the whole entire house to all of the different rooms of Encanto, and then the last house is Antonio's room that actually has the animals in it. Encanto doesn't have anything to fucking do with animals. They just put it in there because they're like, we're doing tropical America, and we have this Hispanic
What else is
that takes place down there.
What else is over in that side of the park?
You know what? I forgot. This is the person who said he'd have a black avatar, so I don't know.
One of the criticisms we've heard with the announcements yesterday is that none of these rides seem very specific or germane to a park. It seems like you could take this lineup of rides and just put them in any park, and you know it's just kind of paint by numbers, so to speak.
Yes, the parks don't have an identity anymore. Everything is the Magic Kingdom. Everything is Hollywood Studios.
I'll agree with that. I mean, shit. What does Disney California Adventure even mean now?
There's We're adding Avatar.
So
to the
did
California.
did we get a date for the not Bugs Land? What is it going to be? I'm sorry.
Zootopia. It's
Zootopia.
2025.
Sorry, yeah.
It
Next
is
25.
year,
Okay.
Yeah.
Next year, winter.
It's a winter, summer, or
I think it said fall or winter, sometime next year.
okay. Well, because winter 2025. This is my thought last night. That could be January of next year, or it can be December of next year. Winter. I'm dead serious, right?
You're not wrong.
Winter 2025 can be January,
You're not
or it
wrong.
can be December.
Are you guys
So
ready?
when's it gonna open?
Are you guys ready to hear all day at Animal Kingdom?
We heard it last night, didn't we?
God. Yeah, they keep trying that. Zootopia needs another song. They really do.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of. I hope Zootopia 2 gives us more music. Because just that one song is.
Oh,
They even played
Shakira,
Country
the
Bear
power of
Jamboree.
Shakira.
yeah, I was gonna say we haven't talked about Country Bear Jamboree. Why
we're
did they
doing,
choose
like,
that song
Go-
for Trixie?
I don't know.
Try everything.
Because, and again, you guys, come on.
Is she trying all
Disney
the food?
is a numbers company. They see how much
you're
streaming
not
that
wrong.
song does.
You're not wrong.
They
Yeah,
have the
but-
streaming numbers. They have the Spotify and Apple Music numbers. That's why it went in there. That's why those songs were selected. They're not stupid. This is a numbers company.
Definitely. It
Stop
just
trying to
seems
use logic
weird, the lyric
Or
choice.
be creative.
You're not wrong.
It is, but they have the numbers from streaming and Spotify. My daughter listens to it all the time.
Yep. You're not wrong.
It's a numbers game. I'm shocked they didn't put Bruno in there.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's going to be a talk about Bruno scene inside of Encanto.
Oh gosh, yeah, Encanto. I'd be mad if there wasn't. And for the record, I'm
that's-
looking forward to everything we've announced so far. I'm looking forward to it, even if it's like, they're gonna water it down. I would love to go on an Encanto ride with my daughter. We love Encanto in this household.
I agree. I mean, I'm just happy to have.
All right.
Well, you
let's get
will,
to-
but she'll be able to drive you to the park.
That's quite all right. That's all right. Let's get to the meat. Let's get to the meat
That was
of
a good
this
one.
presentation, or kind of the controversy of this presentation, and that's Hollywood Studios. So
What's-
we're not gonna start. Let's go ahead and jump to the rumored. And this is kind of the dark horse for me, in terms of where the engagement would be on this presentation. The Monsters Inc. land.
Why is it
Jay,
controversial?
you and I are very, very big Muppet fans. The controversy comes in with the announcement of the Monsters Inc. door coaster, which we've known about for, again, 16, 17 years. It's been rumored. It was in development 17 years ago. Very close to happening. A lot of people think that with this being announced, it will replace Muppet Vision 3D.
No, I don't think it will. I mean, for contractual reasons, but I do think that. I mean, it's. See, I don't. There's 3 different places that people are saying. I know you and Ryan last night was like Animation Courtyard. Alicia, friend of the show, she was saying that it's going to go in Lightning McQueen since they have a whole building there.
And I'm in that camp now. After reading what Alicia wrote,
Yeah,
I'm off of
I am
Animation
too.
Courtyard. I fully think it's going to be in back
But-
where Alicia said it's going to be.
But
or
if you
things
look at
rather.
the model's not that big. The model's not that big, but I also don't think it's going to go in Muppets because I'm wondering to myself, well, if you guys got rid of the Kermit the Frog balloon because it was way too big, a lot of the stuff in Way Too Big to be seen from Batu and everything like that, are we just at the level of just like, one or two things are going to happen. They're just going to say, fuck it. All of the Galaxy's Edge, like, prestige that we were putting on is out the window. We're just building shit, and who cares if you can see what from this side of the park. Or it's just not going to go, or it's going to be like a really small version of it. But you can see part of the Muppet building already from Batu a little bit. So
Yeah.
it looks massive. The facade looks massive. If it's anything like how Monsters Inc. over at Tokyo Disneyland, that is a massive building. It's a pretty big, imposing building. It's a big show building, the Monsters Inc. building. So you can see it from the train halfway across the park. So I don't know.
So the whole area, including Pizza Rizzo and that whatever that restaurant is behind, is 2.5
Mama
acres.
Melrose.
Mama Melrose is
Mama
2.5
Melrose.
acres. So
Which is
don't
not
ask
that
me.
big.
No, but it's pretty big enough for one single coaster building, and that's it.
Yeah.
I said my goodbyes to Muppets the last time I was there because someone tipped me off that it might not be there the next time I come. So we don't know, but right now neither do Disney. They have options.
Right. And
You
guys
yeah,
have,
this was not announced where.
So
it was
everyone can
going.
argue they like, but they can both be right now. They can argue on Twitter about it, and right now they're both correct or they're both wrong. So, but initially I said this morning when I woke up, oh, they're going to get rid of Aerosmith and put it there, and then
Yeah.
we had a chat about it. But we're talking about Little Mermaid or Muppets. I think there would be where you'd start looking. You wouldn't
You
be
guys
looking
have,
at
I'm in the
Aerosmith.
rock and roller coaster camp.
I would love
Same.
to see it. I don't know. I would hate to see Muppets go. Have you guys seen the model for it though? They showed a model
No.
today. They revealed the model. It's not
It's
much.
small.
It's very
It's
rudimentary.
squat.
Not rudimentary, but like very core model. But it shows the like ride layout, and it shows the platform for load and unload, and it looks like
Oh, you're right. I
there's
have seen
four
that. Yes, I have.
stations. Looks like 4 stations on that thing.
How much room does... No, I don't even need to ask. I'm looking at the map now. If you took out Little Mermaid and that other theatre for the whatever it is, I Have a Dream, whatever it is, show.
Dream.
I don't know what it's
One Man's
called.
Dream.
What is it? Waltman, yeah.
One Man's Dream.
The Martin Luther King Experience.
Yeah.
Featuring
Oh, that would be really fucking good. Why don't they just put that in there instead of that boring film?
Whoa.
The building size is similar to Rock and Roller Coaster Gravity Building. So, if it's
Yeah.
going to be of that same
And this
ilk,
is a suspended coaster, and it looks like Vekoma to me. This Ryan, this
yeah,
Vekoma.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Inverted.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
in the Muppets area, if you took out Melrose, Mama Melrose, whatever it is, it's basically half. The space you've got is about half of Rise of the Resistance main building. So
Okay.
it's a moderate amount of space to put in a multi-station, like family coaster.
Right.
Basically, there's plenty of room.
But again, we're talking about a park that is already pretty light on rides, especially if you don't get. Well, no, I'm sorry. Virtual queue's gone now for rides, isn't it? It's standby. The park is considered light on rides, and we're talking about taking away a ride to add a ride, no matter where in the park this would go.
And that is
Seems to be the case.
And that's my
Maybe a
issue with
zero.
all of these announcements is, apart from two and a small change over in Magic Kingdom, we're not really seeing any net gains, and the park,
Right.
especially this one, needs net gains.
Question though. So I look at I know Alicia posted about like the Monsters Inc. building going and Lightning McQueen. Lightning McQueen has a pretty huge building, and I don't think it shares it with anything else. Could the coaster not fit there?
It's
Or at
small
least
for
be part of there?
it's small for a
Mm.
coaster.
Yeah.
But the overall space include like Lightning McQueen and
The original idea for this coaster involved, putting it in Soundstage 1, which is where
Toy Story is, right?
yeah, that's where they built the third track for Toy Story. But you
Oh,
can't really
so-
fill much more than that. The plan was to put the queue in the soundstage and then build a gravity building behind that to put the coaster in. It needs a bigger building than.
Hold on, let me look up how big of a footprint Lightning McQueen has, because right before I took off to Japan, I saw it.
It's not a very tall
killing
building.
time.
Is the problem? It's,
no, it's about the same size as Muppet Vision.
well,
And
shorter.
Muppet
Oh, okay.
Vision definitely isn't big enough for a coaster, so that's why I'm saying you'd have to take out Muppet Vision and the courtyard and probably Melrose, whatever it is.
Muppet Vision is a tall building.
As opposed
comparison.
to, I feel like if they just took out Aerosmith and Lightning McQueen already has enough of an infrastructure to be able to put a lane there. So,
Yeah, it's double it is, but it's not that's
Yeah.
not it. So that's like 4.5 acres of space if you took out all of that whole area, but that's not on the cards. It's either Little Mermaid or Muppets, I believe.
Little Mermaid and Muppets. That's what Little Mermaid does have a pretty big show building.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you took out Little Mermaid and the the theater for the show. That's quite a reasonable amount of space.
Interesting.
But-
They want to
but the
trade out
point
a show
is-
for an attraction.
The point is, Chris is cynical about the Villains Land, but the stuff we got models for is pretty much down the road, right? So anything we've seen a model from this weekend, an actual model, not a mock-up model like the Monsters coaster, but the ones we've actually seen are proper. They've spent money on the models to do it. That we know that's happening, but Villains and the other and the Monsters is still pretty much, as no matter what they say, is still in that kind of much more blue sky phase, because they just don't know where they're going to put it.
In development. It's in development.
Oh, that's the next
Promise,
level up,
swear.
isn't it? That's like the next level from
Yeah.
blue sky.
All right. Anything else for Hollywood Studios?
Interesting. Huh.
That was it.
I didn't
for
know-
Hollywood.
Did I miss anything?
No.
We got
I
the
think
new.
that
Well, we
was
got the new
it.
Star Tours missions, right? Or sorry, I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, no,
that was
the
announced
new
last
Mandalorian
D23.
mission.
Oh right, no, for Smuggler's Run, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting a new Mandalorian
Smuggler.
mission.
I'm sorry. Yes, Smuggler's Run. Yeah.
So they finally
we don't know when it's
admitted-
going to happen.
They finally admit that other one's complete shit. Then have they?
I guess they're just adding it on to it. It doesn't look like they're getting rid of it. They're just going to add it on.
It's
Oh,
pretty
come on.
clear that
Yeah. Like in Star Tours.
people are not willing to wait long for it. If it's more than
Right.
Do you
45
think
minutes-
anyone's gonna like? How pissed would you be if you waited an hour and it wasn't Mandalorian? It's the other, like random.
Well, what
It's
they
just
usually
it's
do
just
with
Chewbacca.
these is when they roll it out, they'll have it exclusively for a month or two,
Yeah.
just to get into the flow of it, and then
Yeah, yeah.
they said they'll run it in rotation.
Funny enough, I think that it's going to come out in 2026 to correspond with the new
Movie.
Ah.
the
the
new
movie.
Grogu the new Mandalorian Grogu movie. I feel like the
Yeah.
studio is probably paying for this to. The studio probably is paying a little bit of this money too to help promote the movie, and I'm sure that now they have it over in Star Tours, they want to try to get a little bit more because there's not a big Mandalorian
Right.
scene there.
Yeah. All right, let's move across the continent over to Southern California and talk about Disneyland announcements. Did we get anything for Disneyland Park itself?
Just the Smuggler's Run. Just
well,
that's it,
and
right?
Walt Disney
oh, and like a new-
animatronic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
fuck.
yes, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. The
that
Walt
thing.
Disney animatronic. Yes. This it will go in the Opera House, kind of their Main Street theater, and the Opera House. And just like I said, when this rolls out, the Walt Disney show or presentation, whatever it's going to be, or talk with Walt, it'll run exclusively for 3 or 4 months, and then it'll run in rotation with the Abraham Lincoln, the really good Abraham Lincoln show they have. But I'm seeing a lot of, this is sacrilege, how could they do this? Diane Disney Miller would be rolling over in her grave. You do not apparently build a Walt Disney animatronic. It crosses the line.
So it's alright to have like a weird fucking shrine in like all of the parks where it's like creepy and weird, but as soon as they make like a more realistic, this is who he was, then all of a sudden, like that's sacrilege. Like for me, it's either one or the other. Like either you have like a weird part of your park where you treat him like he's some kind of saint, and then you can also have animatronics, or you just keep him out of the parks and make it less weird. Like I just don't
I'm
see.
seeing a lot of, Walt wouldn't have wanted this. But I think about, did Walt give a shit about what Abraham Lincoln would have thought when he built an Abe Lincoln animatronic back in 1950? 55?
Well, I guess
No. He just
The
built
diff-
it. He said, screw what Abraham Lincoln and his family think. I'm going to build a robot of Abraham Lincoln.
I guess it's just weird. I don't know. I don't like this. For me, I don't like the deification of Walt Disney. I've never really liked it. I'm okay with like a statue because the motherfucker built this shit. Put a statue of that motherfucker there. There's tons of statues all over the place here in Tampa of historical figures that helped build Tampa up. So I'm fine with that. But if one of those motherfuckers started talking to me, then I'm like, okay, this feels weird. This feels
And to be
weird. Like,
fair, a lot of those statues of people who built Tampa up are of conquistadors who came in and raped and pillaged the land of Florida and drove the natives out. But keep going. I'm sorry.
actually, no. A lot of them came down in the 1900s. Like Jose Marti.
Guys, do you want to do this on a separate pod without me and Ryan?
Here's my take.
I'm gonna roll into the next thing. Okay, give me.
Let's talk about DeSoto. Let's talk about DeSoto, Jalen.
I mean,
Cortez.
they weren't perfect.
Listen.
They weren't perfect. But anyway,
Here's my take.
Anyway.
If we don't teach people, and if we just ignore Walt, and don't tell people about who he was, everyone's just gonna assume that he was a Nazi, and he hated Jews, and everybody is just gonna assume that forever.
but that's the thing, Ryan. They're not going to tell the totality of Walt Disney. And I hear a lot of people talking about, oh, he's a historical figure. Most of the time, especially nowadays, historical figures are brought up in their totality. They're not so much revered. You have to show all of them.
I
The
agree
good, the
that
bad,
if you're
and the
going,
ugly.
I'm not saying don't talk about him, but I don't think a theme park is the place to talk about him. But I feel that if they're going down the line of reasoning of what Walt would want and what Walt wouldn't want, if it was a brand new, state of the art, next gen animatronic, he probably wouldn't care.
Yeah, he'd
Because
be
it
like,
was
this is
all-
cool. This is awesome. This is great.
So-
I think he'd be blown away by the new technology.
I think Tommy is right that it does not belong in a theme park, but I think it belongs perfectly at Disneyland. Those motherfuckers love to jerk off Walt. And
But
all
why
of his
does
bullshit.
why does Abraham Lincoln and all the rest of historical figures fit, but Walt is where you draw the line for some people? I never understood that.
I can see
So
that.
everyone else is fair game. No, not you. I'm saying in general. Everyone else is
No,
fair
I
game.
agree.
Clint Eastwood. You can build robots of them, but not Walt. He's not some deified saint. Like it's just be real here. Come on.
I guess it's different because this feels like the Holy Land experience. Because Walt is like the guy. It's like the 3 o'clock crucifixion. Like it was just like, oh my god, it's like, oh, we're all here because of you. It always felt like Mickey.
They're
Yeah,
gonna
but that's
put you
what-
in the hospital with
that's
Walt as he's
exactly the
dying,
vibe.
tiles in the ceiling.
That's the same vibe that I get when you go and watch the one man, I Have a Dream, Walt Disney, I Have a Dream, like thing where it was like it's all like they're.
I
They've-
have to pull
No,
up,
but
I
that's-
have to pull
no,
up
but-
an AI image of Walt Disney delivering an "I Have a Dream" speech now.
Oh
No,
my
but
God.
but jokes aside, that's how they treat it. Like he was like this, like
Yeah.
and it's very much like their side of their version of him. Like I would have no qualms about sitting down and watching like a documentary on Netflix or Amazon about Walt Disney,
Yeah.
but when it's in their park and it's their version of their guy, it's just a bit weird. So for me, an AA that's more of that is a bit weird, but I just find the whole thing a bit weird. I'd rather none of that. I'd rather have the Walt Disney Walt Disney Museum in wherever he's from, that random place. And if I wanted to go and find out about
Marceline.
Walt and have a AA talk to me that's Walt Disney, I can have it there. Like for me, that's fine. But in a theme park, like come on, is there not cooler stuff that they can put in? Surely.
Have
Well,
you
of course
ever
there
been
is.
to a Have you ever been to a Wendy's, Tommy?
Oh my god!
Whoa. Oh, now I'm gonna shut up. I want to hear what the fuck he has to say.
Oh, they have like a shrine to Dave at every Wendy's.
Oh yeah, they do. Right
And
next to the Dave
KFC
singer.
with Colonel Sanders.
No, you are right. But see, that's the thing. They also
Pappy Van Pappy.
Yeah. Damn it, Tommy. Damn it. I guess it's the.
But that,
demarcation
like,
of it.
jokes aside, this when we're talking about this animatronic, all I can think of is that episode, the Family Land episode of American
Yes.
Dad, where, like, where the statue comes alive. Like, it's all like I feel that if he starts talking to me, he's gonna be like how disappointed he is they got rid of the Better Times Mountain, Mountain and all that.
Simpler Times
They
Mountain.
technically
Simpler
have-
Times Mountain. How he's gonna shut it all down, shut the
have
park
that.
down
Drop
because he's
the
not
image
happy.
in the group chat, by the way. Your image is in the group chat.
It was what's it called? It was they had that. It was the Pancake Plantation House featuring Aunt Jemima.
Why does he look a bit like Hitler? Why does he look like Hitler?
These crackers were ruthless back in the day. It's a giant picture of Aunt
Ryan,
Jemima
please
on
put
the
this.
side.
Make sure this goes in the video because people
Hang
need
on.
to see
I-
this.
My
Oh
phone
my
is being
God,
used as
and
my
baby
webcam.
Jesus.
All right.
Oh my God, and baby Jesus.
I'm sorry, I have to.
Well,
Oh
Walt
my
Disney's
God.
"I Have a Dream" speech. All right.
I wonder if
So
they
what
have
else
this in
did
the
we get for?
backseat of the tram. sorry. That was.
What else did we
Did you
get
just
for,
type that into like Copilot or something right now?
Yeah, yes. For Disneyland, over in California Adventure, we have the announcement of a new Coco ride.
Yeah, it's going to be a boat ride from what I hear. That's being speculated.
Better on a boat. And
Wait,
people
what?
are naturally comparing it to, it's not Rio del Tiempo. What is it called now?
What's that motherfucker's name? The Three Caballeros.
Three Caballeros ride. Yeah, so it's been being compared to that, but I'm thinking this will be on I'm hoping on a much larger scale.
So what is this and where is this going?
This is going to
Coco
Disney's
and Disney's
Adventure.
California Adventure.
Now, question: do you guys think this is
Which
a
that
part
park
of
needs a new name,
Disneyland?
by the way.
Yeah, it's just I feel like Disney California Adventure, and this is just my theory. It's starting to like represent all of the different major like groups of people in California. Like
Well,
particularly
let's
the
see.
ethnic groups.
Avengers HQ is in New York. Cars Land is in Arizona.
So you got the white people
Coco is
coming.
in Mexico.
You got the
I mean, we're
Mexico
going
Festival
everywhere
there,
but California. You have
But
San Francisco, which is
you got the Pacific Islanders with Avatar now. Like
Avatar is the other announcement. We're going everywhere
Right.
but California and California Adventure.
By the way, so are they saying that it's literally just going to be a generic boat ride, or are they going to take the Shanghai Pirates tech?
That's what it's probably going to be for Avatar.
Yeah, I think they're saving that for Avatar.
This
Oh,
feels
okay.
like, no, fuck. I know what it's going to be. I know it's going to fucking be.
So
It's
who's
gonna be
your-
a new Frozen ride over at Fantasy Springs? That's a boat ride. It's going to be the same thing, which is just a better version of Maelstrom.
Oh, not the one they've just opened, like the Tangled one. Is it going to be like that?
Not the Tangled run. I'm thinking it's going to be like Frozen, because they were talking about how they're going to be using some very enhanced like animatronics for that ride, this, that, and the third, which I would love to see from Coco. But it seems as though like it's going to be taking a lot of cues from the Frozen boat ride, which isn't that it's not too impressive technically. So I think that's just what they're going for. It's impressive technically in terms of like the animatronics and the sets and everything like that. And I feel like that's what this is going to be.
Yeah, the boat rides don't need to be technically advanced or anything. Just give me a moat to go through and put shit around it.
Yeah. And they mentioned state-of-the-art animatronics in this thing, so that kind of seems to be the draw, as they'll have their kind of signature, probably, animatronic at the end, a la Avatar boat ride.
So what do you reckon? So obviously we've had like some rumors and stuff for a while that the creature from Black Lagoon ride, is it creature?
It's creature,
The expansion for Monsters Land, that the ride tech for that would be basically Universal's version of the Shanghai Pirates. So who, given what we know about the Avatar build time, and as soon as Jim Cameron sets foot on the site, how 3 years will be added to the build time, which one do you think is going to come first? Who do you think is going to be first to get that?
DC. Oh, you mean Coco or Avatar?
No, it seems like it's going to be Avatar. So what I'm saying is, which one gets built first? Which
I don't think Universal is very slow to expand on their parks. They don't use their expansion plots for years after the parks open. They have never done it.
Well, then again, during those times, they were downtrodden. They weren't doing the best. So now when they have a lot of momentum to them, who knows?
Yeah, it wasn't that. Also, like this one wasn't ready, or they went back and forth on what they were going to do and whether the tech was going to be ready. So it was a case of that more so it's not ready, as opposed to they don't know what they want to build, so they just leave it empty for years.
Let me see when they're supposed to open this up, because this was supposed to open. I think they said it's going to open up 2027.
Are we talking about Avatar?
Avengers Campus Avatar is supposed to open in 2027, while Avengers is opening up in 2026.
I would automatically add 2 years to that Avatar one right now.
The thing about Avatar is, I think they can pull it off if it's just pirates. If it's just pirates with an Avatar skin over it, What the fuck are they being delayed for?
I think Avatar is very far along in development. I think they have blueprints and layouts and everything. It's just, when are they going to start doing the Disneyland forward thing actually? That's the problem. That's where I think this is going, is for Disneyland
Well, how much infrastructure do they have to do to be able to then take that land that they're taking?
Tons.
Yeah,
this
so
is going
there's
to be
your
a
problem.
while out.
Okay.
So even if the money's there, they've got to spend the money so they can because they've got that agreement in place, haven't they?
But
so technically they can start spending the money to do the infrastructure. But the reality of it is, like, I'm not going to give Disney
the big question is
a pass on it, but reality of it is, it probably will take them a little while even to just get shovels in the ground, right?
It's that. But we also don't know for sure if this is where Avatar's gonna go. They could, and I don't know where, but they could put it somewhere.
I would go back to that, when initially when they had not the first plan, but the second one with where they've done the like the environmental one or something like that. You could pretty much figure out where it was going based on that plan.
Tommy was right. Coco's not opening until, they're not going to begin work on Coco until 2026. So I would think that Avatar's not going to start until 2027. Or they might go alongside each other.
So the thing to hold over Disneyland people for now is the Avengers ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they drop any more details on that other than the ride vehicle picture?
Oh yeah, they dropped a ton. So, Scott Trowbridge talked about it.
You got what you wanted.
Scott Trowbridge talked about it for a while. We're getting a flat ride in addition to the Avengers ride, which is very similar to Some of All Thrills at Epcot. It's like Some of All Thrills, but your ride vehicle can be picked up and put down by the robotic arm, which is wild.
Yeah, and anyone who's been to a GameWorks or a Dave & Buster's 10, 15 years ago, it's in all those too.
I think this one will have to be very reliable if it wants to function and be, a theme park attraction. They can't have, entire robotic arms out for weeks at a time.
I feel like Kuka had like a buy one get one free sale, or the everything must go sale, and Disney just went out and bought 12 of these things on a whim.
Probably.
It was like, well, we got to do something with them. We bought them.
Universal bought a bunch.
Yeah, it's probably whatever Universal didn't buy. They built more than what Universal needed, so it's just the spares they're selling.
But in addition,
we got a logo. There's going to be quite a few going into Epic Universe, including Potter.
We got a logo for the attraction. Avengers. We got a name. Avengers Infinity Defense.
I hate that name.
Yeah, that is a weird name.
Would you rather have Infinity Adventure? You want Infinity Adventure, Multiverse Adventure?
Magical, add magical in there.
I don't care.
At least it's a short name.
It's a weird name.
At least it's not a name that's 20 words.
It's not long.
Tony Stark Experimental Infinity Defense. This is actually an arm, and you can program and yada yada yada. Yeah, where it describes what the ride is.
So really, what I'm getting from all of this, I'm hearing the words Scott Trowbridge. I'm hearing the words, it's going to be awesome. I'm hearing the words, for the first week it's open. And then I'm going to hear the other words, a lot of downtime. That's all I'm saying on that.
Yeah.
I will say, since it's using the same Peter Pan attraction tech as Fantasy Springs, when I went to Fantasy Springs, I got to ride Peter Pan once, and I got to ride Peter Pan. I got to get in line for Peter Pan the second time, and that hole went down. So I do not know if it is as reliable.
Is that a bus bar or is it a trackless?
It's a bus bar. It's definitely has.
It's a little bit more reliable, but then
not the end of the thing, the Neverland Adventure one.
But at the end of the day, right? Like the the ride system, the log flume has been around for decades and is pretty reliable in itself. But when you start putting it together with other stuff, which is exactly what happened with Rise, where you start getting other stuff, triggering other stuff, and then X, Y, and Z needs to happen in a certain order, that's when you start getting your downtime.
So we also got a plot for this ride. we know the details of what's going to happen.
King Thanos.
No. Well, yeah, King Thanos and Tony Stark has invented technology that is allowing us
Oh,
to
that's right. Yes.
travels to different dimensions. Because
Yes.
and now Thanos has discovered this technology as well, and he's using it to destroy all the multiverse. So we have to go through the portals to hunt him down. And it's kind of like every other 3D simulator that Universal made. You know, it reminds me of the Back to the Future.
We need your help.
It's the Biff story.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how Peter Pan is too.
It's a time heist. It's a time heist.
That's how Peter Pan is.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not mad at it after doing Peter Pan at Fantasy Springs. I think it's a step above Transformers, and it's only like half a notch below Spider-Man.
I'd love it
It's
to
a
be
cool-
like Transformers in the sense that they get it built in the next 18 months, but what we're talking about, what's the time frame? 4 years? 5 years?
I think it's going to be a good ride.
I think this will
But
be
5
open
years.
2026
probably.
or 27.
Did you not
Well, we're
hear
nearly
me?
at the end
They
of
don't break
2024
ground.
now, so
They
I
don't
really
break
can't-
ground until 2026 on this.
On the Avengers ride.
On the Avengers rides, yeah. This does not come out till 2026.
Right.
So what's going to be open in the next 2 years in
California? Nothing.
California? It sounds like nothing.
The Walt Disney animatronic.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
The
The
Walt Disney
animatronic is
I
next
better book
year
my
for February.
flight. I'll book my flight now.
Yeah. All right, real quick, we got to wrap it up here. What are the big international announcements that stick out to you?
The cruise line.
Get this, guys. No, before the cruise line, get this, guys. When do you think? Bear in mind, they started building, they started the works, 2018. When do you think, guys, that the Maelstrom clone in Disneyland Paris and whatever they're calling it now,
Adventure World.
Walt Studios Park, Adventure World? When do you think they're going to open that? Do you think it's going to be open at the end of this year?
No.
No, it's 2025, they say.
Yeah, they did.
No,
put a-
2026.
2026, guys.
26.
Yeah.
Another 2 years.
And that's
Another
crazy
2 years.
because we were there in 2019. I was in Paris and saw them clearing. The land was cleared for it already.
Like literally, and I've put it up a few times, as you know, but literally, Epic Universe went from nothing to what the state is in now in the same time that they've been building that one single ride show building and restaurant and Concrete Lagoon. It's insane. And then
Yeah,
they're
it's nuts.
saying it's not going to be ready.
I don't get.
All right, so what else
Disneyland
sticks out
Paris.
internationally?
A Spider-Man coaster in Shanghai. They got Tron already,
Yeah.
and now they're getting this crazy Spider-Man coaster, which looks like
Was
it's
it
gonna
Coaster or Tower of Terror?
That's Shanghai is
No, they're
getting,
getting
the
both.
coast. No, Shanghai is getting the coaster. Hong Kong is getting the.
Oh,
drop
yeah, you're
ride.
right. You're right.
Shanghai,
You're right.
Shanghai's coaster though, it looks like just the first outdoor exposed steel Disney coaster since the.
Slinky
Oh,
Right.
we've seen the ride layout for that though, haven't we? That leaked a while back.
Yeah.
So that's not like
Due to the
we knew about that.
Okay. There's spider bots in the concept art too. That's weird. And then yeah, there's a drop ride at Hong Kong, right? That looks pretty crazy. It looks like Tower of Terror.
If they were ever able to resolve the Marvel thing and basically settle on an amount to sell it, do you think like a Spider-Man replacement for Tower of Terror would be the one for Hollywood Studios? Do you think that would be worth the money? Because for me, I think that would.
I could see that, but I could also see them going along the lines of just saying, fuck it, let's actually build a good Marvel land for once. And go
No,
all
but that's what I'm
out.
saying. They could keep Tower of Terror and just knock down Rock and Roller Coaster and have that whole area and just make that all.
How many years have we been doing this show? And I've been telling you all, this company
Super.
is predictable if you're paying attention. Disney wouldn't do any of that. They would just clone rides they've already made in other parts of the world.
Well,
But that's
here's
what I
the
just
thing.
said about the
Clone
Spider-Man thing.
the
Cloning the
Avengers
Spider-Man thing. It's
The
easy.
Yeah,
Avengers
they'd be-
e-ticket, yes, it wouldn't be some weird concept or new concept or out of the box. They're just going to clone what they've already made.
But
Get ready
here's
for
the
the Tony
thing,
Stark
Chris.
thing from fucking Hong Kong.
None of these are clones
Yeah,
that
nothing
they've
here.
announced. None of these have clones. I mean, you could say they're remixes or they're reutilizing the same ride system, but none of these are one for one clones besides maybe Indiana Jones.
But no, I'm talking about domestically for the Florida audience. Don't get
And
your hopes up. You're getting a clone.
none of these that they announced have been clones. None of them.
Right.
One to one clones
Right.
for Florida. So maybe I'm not saying they're turning a new leaf.
I mean,
But
I could see it from
Even
Marvel
even
for the
Disneyland
R&D
Paris is not
costs.
is getting a clone. Well, kind of a semi-clone.
They're getting a clone of Frozen, but they're getting a new Lion King attraction that's just Lion King Splash
Oh,
Mountain.
we got to talk about that.
Well, it's
'Cause
basically
that was the other controversy.
The
Is
Lion
is,
King,
is
yeah.
it the new one or is it the original?
And the
He
other
said
controversy
animated.
is it Splash Mountain.
Who cares?
It looks like it, but I mean, so does Dudley Do Right.
It's the law.
yeah. It's from a
Yeah, it's a log
a
flume.
practicality point of view. It's only going to be good for about 5 months of the year to go on,
Yeah. Doesn't it
unless
show
they make
that?
it
Yeah.
really, really tame. And I'm talking
Turn the water level down.
like like they would have to make it incredibly tame. Like Loggers Leap at Fort Park used to soak you, then you'd be wet and cold the rest of the day.
Does
So-
Disneyland Paris have
I
Splash
mean,
Mountain?
they turned down the water
No, they
on
never
Grizzly
did.
River Run,
Yeah, that's right.
and in DCA they turned that down in the winter where you barely get wet, so it's doable.
I'm talking
Same
you'd have
thing
to have a
with
lower
Coco.
drop. You'd have to. It wouldn't be the drop would have to be tame. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that water.
But
whips you in the
also-
face.
Like regardless of whether it's new or old liking, both of them sound fucking shit to me. Honestly, I'd rather they just settle on one and do a different story or do something like the three of them. What's his face? I don't know the characters. You know, the comical pair, and then Simba or whatever go something set in that time frame where it's just an adventure with the three of them.
Timon, Pumbaa.
Like rather than some
Simba.
fucking story. From what I read earlier, it just sounded like it's going to be a book report ride.
It's a book report.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Simba.
and the other thing is like, is it going to be based on the animated movie or the live action? 'Cause
But that's what I'm
there's-
saying. Either or, like just settle on one or the other. But if it's a book report, I
And to
think it's going
clarify,
to
the
be shit. Whatever.
concept art showed the new live action version.
It does.
Yes, but the model that was shown today at D23 on the floor had the animated characters in the model.
Interesting. Well, we'll find
Either
out.
way, either way.
Maybe it was just an older
Alright.
piece of concept art.
Is they're not opening
Yeah,
the
who
ride
knows?
that they started in 2018 till 2026. This one's going to be like 2032, but by the time it opens anyway.
Right.
So we can
Alright,
talk about that in
We're
about
gonna wrap
5
it up
years.
here.
Stop it, Chris. That's enough.
What's that,
that's
Jay?
Enough. That's enough Martin Luther King photos. All right.
Oh my God, is there more?
Your other half is showing, and I'm not liking it. Stop it. Stop it.
It's Tommy who
Oh,
gave me
that's
the
scary.
idea for Walt Disney's "I Have a Dream" speech. All right. Any other announcements you want to talk about quickly?
4 more cruise ships. In addition, well,
4 more
2
cruise
in
ships.
addition to
Right.
the 4 we know.
That's
right?
my cue to go if you're going to start talking about cruise ships,
Yeah,
honestly.
we got Toy Story
You know.
8, Incredibles 10, Inside Out 5, Lion King 8, like a bunch of sequel movies announced, right?
9 Inch Nails doing the music for Tron 3.
Oh yeah, Tron 3. Yeah, it's gonna work this time, fellas. Third time
We
the charm,
promise.
We
baby.
got Jared Leto.
People are gonna give a shit this time. We got Jared fucking Leto. People give a shit about him. Not like he's a fucking
One thing I
laughingstock.
do, one thing I want to bring up, not to go back too far, but all the stuff we've talked about, far beyond 2026, and Disney is set to hopefully, maybe, theoretically, get a new CEO by that time, so things could change very fast.
Yeah.
So are we in that phase, like the initial phase before he decides to bow out before, where he green lights, he gets a bunch of shovels in the ground, and then then becomes his new legacy?
Well, I
And
gotta
that-
finish this. I can't leave without it being done. I gotta finish this and stay. Which is what he
Yeah,
did with
I'm
Shanghai
thinking.
when he was gonna leave.
Yeah, yeah.
Iger's gonna
Could
die
be.
before he leaves that company.
Probably.
He's too committed to it.
As in,
Oh.
there's been discussion, and I'm not talking about on the internet. I'm talking about like articles from quite serious journalists that have discussed where they're at with finding someone. Hasn't there been an article recently or something where it was quite a serious conversation about lining people up for the job and stuff like that?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Anything else, real quick? Okay.
I think it's everything. Yeah.
D23 was better than years past.
Okay, that's a fair assessment.
Best one since the
Fair
Epcot
assessment.
one.
So it wasn't a nothing burger, but it was a something burger, I guess, wasn't
Better
it?
better than a Blue Sky Burger.
Don't know why they called it
Yeah.
Horizons.
Oh, I will say.
Just to mess
I
with
do
you?
Well, yeah, no. Tickling the fucking Epcot fans is their bread and butter. You people keep showing up. But,
Well, and they sang
no,
wishes. Like, you don't just go in front of a bunch of Disney fans and sing wishes out of nowhere and tease that.
No, you kind of do. They're easy to.
Stomping
Disney
on
fans are
Wish's
easy.
grave.
They sang a
Yeah.
lot of songs I thought they honestly forgot. I don't know.
Disney fans
Yeah.
are. I will say, I do like how they were a little more like, look, we've heard all the shit that you guys were talking about, the blue sky shit. Like all weekend, they've been saying, look, we're ready to put shovels in the ground. We're ready to do this and the third. This one was making fun of themselves a lot. And
Jay, are you
I like
digging
that.
through your fridge for ice?
No, I think that's Tommy.
I
Okay,
like that.
Tommy's
I
pouring
like the
himself a drink.
humility. They showed a little
Yes.
more humility this time, and I'm glad for that. I'm
Yeah.
glad, because if this was Bob Chapek, this man would have been like, "No, everything is perfect, motherfucker." And
Oh, yeah.
if you say otherwise, you're a piece of shit. So I'm glad that Tomorrow was open to this criticism, and for the past 3 years, he knows what everybody's been saying about them, and that that they got to get their weight up. They gotta, you gotta move, baby.
Right. Okay, all right. Ryan, where can we find you online?
I am on X at Imagineer6.
What?
Jay, where can we find you?
Did you know?
You can find me on Twitter at TCJakelin and on Tomorrow's Child on Instagram.
Tommy, where can we find you?
At Tommy Hawkins on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you very much.
And you can find me everywhere at Wakefield Report, at the Wish 3 podcast, the Make It Make Sense financial podcast, all over the place. And in the immortal words of Martin Luther King, I just want to say...
Oh my God.
I'm kidding.
God.
If you dream it, we can build it. That was one of his, wasn't it?
Inspiring.
If we can dream it, we can do it. There you go. That's a good one.
God, I
All right,
can't
we'll
wait for
see
the
you all
MLK
next time.
Experience.